That was where you had some smart people, some experts sitting there in that room, dreaming up the one best way, and then I'm going to impose that on the entire organization, right? It's not very scientific, really, what we call science. But we want science in the minds of everyone all the time. But here's the other side of that, which is that science will give us a good technical answer, right? A mechanical answer, how the work should be done. How those Starbucks baristas really should be doing that work so that the queue gets shorter and shorter. How the people at the airport should do the work so that my bag doesn't get lost again. There'll be a good technical answer there, but you know, anyone who's worked in an organization of any size, and I would say even anything over 5 people, being technically right is just half the battle, right? And it's really the easy half of the battle, probably, because lean is also, I'm sure you've all heard this or said this yourselves, lean is people-focused. Absolutely true. And there's some basic principles of what people-focused means. Is the very famous lean principle of respect people. Begins with that. But one of the reasons we respect people is not just because it's a good, humane thing to do. It's because it makes sense. It's because we'd better respect people. Because, you know what, we have to rely on people. I mean, unless you're the one who actually puts the engineering drawing on the blueprint, unless you're the one who actually attaches the part to the vehicle, unless you're the one actually closing the sale today, then we're relying on other people to do the work. We're relying on people out there to do the actual value-creating work, right? So we have to rely on people. Therefore, it only makes perfect sense to develop people. It only makes logical business sense, therefore, to develop people. As we used to say in Toyota and elsewhere, I think, really, before we make product, we make people. And developing people, respecting people, and being people-focused does not just mean kind of the soft, touchy-feely sort of organization. We're going to be very challenging. So the fact that I'm respecting people, elevating the status of people in the organization, doesn't mean I'm going to be soft per se. I'm going to actually be pretty darn tough. I'm going to be challenging you as I challenge myself to get better. And unfortunately, this is often what we see, is we don't see these two things in balance. That's why I kind of like to use this scale here. I guess when lean first started kind of becoming globally famous, even before Dan and Jim came up with the word lean, one of the first things we saw as we looked at Toyota systems was the teamwork, people working as teams. And that led a lot of the movement to kind of go in a very sort of a touchy-feely way. So no decisions made unless everyone is consulted, and it's sort of a democratic process. So you still see, I've seen many lean implementations over the years. It's just so people-focused. But then you also see many that are just very, very process-focused, so kind of a techie. Recently I visited a company in Silicon Valley in California. And every single person in the company is an engineer. The finance people are engineers. The HR people are engineers. It's amazing, just absolutely amazing. Talk about a techie company. So when I showed this slide, they just started laughing. They all started saying, yeah, we're real touchy-feely, right? And so the thing is, over time, we kind of go back and forth. We kind of go back and forth. It ends up looking like this, I think. Maybe you can relate to this. And, of course, getting it in balance is what we want. And I don't know that anyone ever gets it perfectly in balance. But wanting to do that, having that as an aim, as an aspiration, I think is an important guide for us. I think on a good day, Toyota does a really good job of this. This is maybe one of the things that they do well, is having those in a nice balance.